Hello and welcome back to my channel. Sagi Cohen here. This is going to be a very important video, a very important message. It has to do with feminine and masculine. It has to do with the very long dispute, the anger that is on both sides, and this has to do with the current situation around the world, which we are subject to, which we are witnessing right now, that is evolved directly from that polarity, masculine and feminine. So I was asked to do a particular video about how the feminine can forgive the ancestral wrongness that the masculine has been inflicted upon her for this last era, right? Thousands and thousands of years. And this is correlating perfectly to my personal situation between me and the mother of my youngest children, Kali, which some of you might know. And this goes to the very beginning of the story of Adam and Eve, or the very beginning story of the human split between masculine and feminine. So first of all, when we talk about forgiveness, there can only be one forgiveness, and that's the forgiveness to self. For we are constantly projecting on the outside world the things that are going on inside of us. Everything around us is a mirror. Everything around us is reflecting of who we are. You guys already know that. It's nothing new. So when we are talking about forgiveness, much like we are talking about any other thing, something that comes out from me and being projected on the outside world, it has to be genuine to the inside first. Which means when I'm offering forgiveness, asking forgiveness, finding forgiveness, this forgiveness is first and foremost within me and then directed towards me. For that person that is out there which I'm finding forgiveness to is a reflection of who I am. And the anger, the frustration, maybe even the hatred that I have towards that person, it's not about that person. It's about the reflection of that person on my own life. It's about the connection that I have towards that person and whatever it is that I'm missing in that connection. And it is always something that I'm missing inside of myself. For if I am fulfilled, if I am whole, and if I'm in peace, then there's nothing out there that I need. There's nothing out there that can trigger me out of that balance. So when we talk about forgiveness, we must understand that there's always needs to be first that self-reflection. Why am I upset? What is that part inside of me that cannot be in peace? What has been triggered by that person over there, by my partner, my lover, my neighbor, my brother? When we look at the past era, we have to take accountability and responsibility for what has happened. And what has happened is male dominance, a lot of wrongness that has been used as force, the masculine force that got out of balance, and that was directed also towards other men, but particularly towards the female, in conquering her, conquering the female. Now, this goes to our human nature. It doesn't go against our human nature. human nature is to dominate, to influence, to extend our will on this reality. For inside of each and every one of us, we understand that we have the power to create. And that power to create gives us the ability to force that creation, to force something to happen. Actually, this is what we do anyways. When we create something, we take something that wasn't there, or that something that is first, we destroy it, we take it apart, and then we put it differently, and we create something anew. But we are always using what is already there. So we need to use force, we need to use power. There needs to be a direction, there needs to be an intention. Think about it. Each time you make a salad, each time you make food, you create a meal, you take something that is peaceful, like a vegetable, like a fruit. You dissect it, you warm it up, you mix it with other things, and you create something new. So you have to go through the process of destruction to create something else. And this is what we are doing between the female and the male as well. This is what we are doing in general when we go out to the world to create. Now, we don't think twice when we do it with nature, unfortunately. It's time for us to start doing it intentionally and with love also when we approach nature with that, even when we create a meal. But when we do that with other people, this is when what we call right and wrong steps into the picture, or bad and good. For we slowly started to develop towards an organism that can perceive the concept of forcing one's will. We see that with children, with little children. And when we see that with little children, we do not think, oh, that child is bad. We understand that a little child does not grasp the difference between him and the outside world fully. He does not grasp fully the perception of boundaries. And it definitely doesn't have this dichotomy between right and wrong. So a child would go and destroy the world in order to experience it. So as a guardian parent, we try to explain the child. This is what we do, this is what we don't do, this hurt this person, this hurt that plant. But what I'm getting at is that this is an innate part of the evolutionary path of humanity. And much like the body is evolving from a baby to a child, to a teenager, to a grown-up person, the journey of the soul is the same. It's just that it takes longer, over lifetimes. We evolve again and again and again, and we understand through each and every experience and through each and every lifetime that we hurt other people, that we hurt nature, that we destroy, that we force our will. And when we go through that, it is painful. When we are starting to become aware of that and to take the responsibility for that, it becomes painful. It's painful to the soul to know what it has been doing, that it has been hurting, that it has been destroying. And this is when we start to shut down emotionally. We start regressing into a state of numbness, into depression. We don't want to get out there and involve ourselves anymore with the world because we don't want to hurt anybody. You probably relate with this concept. So we go through the dark night of the soul, facing our inner child, through all of that awareness process, enlightenment process, to find forgiveness to what we've done, to find reason in what we've done, to find love to ourselves with what we have done. My personal story with it is this is how the beard started and the long hair. About 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I realized how I am using my beauty to manipulate other people and to get what I want, i.e. to force and to manipulate, to force my will. So I decided to destroy my beauty by neglecting myself. And then I went into the dark night of the soul, my first dark night of the soul, at least the conscious first dark night of the soul. I'm sure I had it when I was a teenager. And I immersed through the other side, understanding that this is a natural life process. And then I didn't go and shave my beard and cut my hair, because I understood that this too is part of my human nature and of life purpose. So I just started cultivating it into a look. And this is what I offer you, dear friend. It's not to shame yourself of the things that you have done, but just to take responsibility and cultivate them to something beautiful. So when we get down to the question of how does the feminine can find forgiveness to the wrongness of the masculine, there are two parts to it. The first is understand your responsibility in how we got there. Because we got there as a couple, Adam and Eve, feminine and masculine. We got there through this polarity and through the law of attraction that continues bringing us together, sometimes clashing, sometimes in beautiful harmony and love. And the second part is find the value of what happened. For in each and every wrongness that has been inflicted on us, each and every hurt or trauma that we have experienced, there is a hidden gift. And when I can shift my perception from the victimhood, oh, this happened to me, to mastery, oh, I helped created it, then I can find what was there for me. The essence of it that helped me grow, that helped me become better, stronger, wiser, or in different words, helped me transform, helped me continue my evolutionary path. And evolution is not only subjected to the body, but also to the soul, also to the mind. So, finding forgiveness is first looking into myself and saying, how did I contribute to this situation? What was I after? What part of me was surrendering to this experience that brought me pain? And it's going to be easier if you detach yourself from your physical expression as either a female or male, a woman or a man. Remember that you're both of them. Remember that you have the masculine and the feminine inside of you, intermingled. And maybe your outer expression is one or the other, but inside you are 50-50. Your DNA is 50% male, 50% female, 50% from your father, 50% from your mother. And that's a beautiful gift. So detach yourself from the story of who you are and start seeing yourself as a grander personality, entity. We speak about stopping identifying ourselves as this or that, with this story or with that story. And that allows us to grow and become divine. Because the divine is not only feminine, the divine is not only blonde, the divine is not only Israeli or Christian. The divine is divine, and it contains all of it. It contains masculine and feminine. Like the yin and yang, they go together and they experience something through that give and take, or give and receive. And then shift that story into something beautiful. Understand that it helped you grow. Understand that whatever happened with the masculine helped you understand better who you are, better the differences between masculine and feminine, better in how to bring feminine and masculine together. For this is probably what it is all about. Bringing the polarities into unity. Bringing dark and light to intermingle. Bringing feminine and masculine to intermingle. And we know what happens when feminine and masculine come together. What happens is the most beautiful creation on earth. The life of the next generation, right? For it is only when feminine and masculine, when they come together in harmony, then the next generation can become. Not only in humans, in everything in nature. Everything needs this polarity, this masculine and feminine, to come together in harmony. This is amazing. Just think about that concept for a second. If we can accept the other side, a feminine accepting the masculine, or masculine accepting the feminine, and if we can come in love together, love and acceptance, then we trigger sensuality, and that creates life. This is an amazing concept, and it's worth finding forgiveness for. And it's worth understanding that this unity that I'm looking for is first inside, and then it's expressed to the outside. First, I need to find that unity within me so I can unify with that other part of me on the outside. This is called conscious creation, which was the name that Callie put for me and her, for what we have started to creating together, conscious creations. Yeah, so back to my personal story. I'm still working on that too. Expressing constant love to the feminine. Even when it hurts, even when it's not reciprocated, even when it's not flowing back. Just constantly express that love, project that love. This is healing. For the word healing in Hebrew is related to the word creation. It's a very close root. And health and creation is exactly the same root. So my friends, this is not an easy path, because it means looking at my own darkness, looking at my own atrocities, looking at my own self-judgment. And we sometimes don't want to see that. We don't want to picture ourselves as that person. But once we can embrace that person that can inflict horrors, that can dissect, that can destroy, that can hurt and harm, then we shift harm to harmony. And I wish you all that love and peace and harmony in your heart. Thank you for listening. Do subscribe, like, whatever, share. It helps this channel grow. It helps me grow. And then, see you next time.